Everyone gets to look at the same time. Get ready. Oh. This is real. This is a real person that's done this. So this is so in the UK, British soldiers are called squaddies. Okay, that's like part of the thing. They're called squaddies. Okay, and this is like kind of what a squaddie looks like. So angry, red-faced. Yeah, this is yeah, it's gammon. Who can smell the gammon cooking? But yeah, this is a real life thing that we're about to watch. Okay. So I didn't really know what one to watch. There's like so many to choose from, but I wanted to pick a more recent one. So I figured we could watch this one. Paw Patrol racially abused by feral 5-year-olds. I don't know what this is. Let's just get into it. Oh my god, look at this. It's so cringe. Jesus.
Evening, chaps. How's it going? I was going to save this one for my weekly BBC.
Look how angry he is. Why would you commission a picture of you drawn so angrily? Look at his face. He's so mad. At least this dude isn't yelling like the one from yesterday night. Yeah, that's true. He's a northerner. Northern squaddy. This is him talking calmly. Okay, come on. Let's see what he's got to say.
News roundup. But it was so fucking funny. I thought I'd do a quick one to address it now. Plus, it just doesn't seem cricket to include the old current bun on a BBC News roundup. But I didn't want to ignore it. As you can probably tell by the title.
Yeah, exactly, Comrade Jock. Like, I'm fairly certain that Bootneck's a Marines, right? He's like a Royal Commando, Royal Marine Commando. I'm pretty sure that like some soldiers don't want to be portrayed as like angry, unhinged, angry people. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was a soldier and I saw this, I'd be like, hang on a sec, I'm not like that. I don't want to be portrayed as some angry, unhinged loser. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Children's entertainers dressed as Paw Patrol.
Wait, we've got... This is brilliant. Look at that. What is that? Looks like an anime character. He's just stuck in the second picture. I know, he's not even got rid of the original picture. He's just slammed it over the top of the first one.
Held hostage and racially abused by feral 5-year-olds. There's a fucking headline I never thought I'd ever read out.
What? What's this about? Why is he in a straitjacket? What? Why is he... What? Yeah, this anime's a bit weird. I'm not sure I understand the plot of this anime, to be honest with you. Dueling Rantsonas. Oh, yeah. What's it? How do you pronounce it? Ahaigo. 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 The head is transparent. Oh my god, Noopy, that's so true. Look, it's transparent. And I like the fact that he's kind of like portrayed someone wearing a straitjacket as like just a literal loony. Do you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, this is what someone with mental illness looks like. He said to his artist, listen, I want you to draw me a representation from an 80s film of what a crazy person looks like, okay? Tongue hanging out the mouth, eyes, you know, all over the place. Incredible. Incredible. Yes, a straitjacket for his own anger issues. It's to stop him going on an unhinged killing spree. Which, let's be honest, it looks like he wants to. And I think it would be a certain race that would be in the target. Let's just put it that way.
I'd ever read out. But let's just have it said right off the bat. The first fucking lesson of Paw Patrol should be, do not send Paw Patrol to gypsy encampments, right?
Gypsy is a slur, by the way. Gypsy is like a pretty bad slur. Let's just take that off so you can see it. Yeah, gypsy's a pretty yikes term. Yeah, it's used to refer to Romani people. You know, it's not equivalent, but calling a Romani person a gypsy is of a similar vein to calling a black person an N-word. It's not quite as severe, but it's bad. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, why is he raising his hand? It's one of the earliest. It's also one of the most kind of socially accepted as well. Again, going back to when I was a kid. Going back to when I was a kid, I used to use the word gypsy. I did it. It's so prevalent and it's so you know, it's just socially accepted.
There's the first lesson for Paw Patrol. These poor bastards. Fuck me. Get on your paws and use them to fuck off in the opposite direction. That should be the lesson for Paw Patrol. It said,
Jesus
three
Christ.
children's entertainers dressed as Paw Patrol characters were battered, racially abused and held hostage at a party until police arrived in 3 riot vans. 3 riot vans. They should have sent my man PC Bastard. He'd have fixed this problem on his own.
What the hell? Look. Oh my god. Look at this. Proud supporter of old-fashioned community policing. Black people getting the shit kicked out of them. Oh, we hit the mother load. I'm not joking. That literally is what it says down here. Bad news, I'm afraid, son. You'll get 3 years in jail and a good fucking kicking in the back of the van for this. And it's it's like I don't know. Is it so? I don't know the exact race of this person, but they're trying to burn a flag, and the copper just is going to just brutally just engage in a little bit of police brutality. I mean, what? This is really bad. Like, how is this? What do you say to that? Quite literally, just supporting racist police brutality, just flagrantly, just openly, not in an unapologetic way. Yeah, I think black people should have the shit kicked out of them for burning a flag. And he calls that old-fashioned community policing. If someone says they want to steroid-fueled racist brutality, if someone says they want old-fashioned community policing, that means they want to see black people get brutalised by the police. That's just a fact, okay?
But there's not many police like him anymore, is there? Back in the day when I was a young thruster, all the coppers, you know, in the 80s, all the coppers were like big scary bastards who were like ex-SAS or ex-commandos or something.
Yeah. Guess what else the police did in the 80s? I told you! I fucking just said it! He wants to take us back to the 80s where police brutality against minority people was considered absolutely okay and the right thing to do. This is incredible. He is advocating for racially abusive cops. Absolutely he is. There's no doubt about it. This is incredible. I promise you, I watched like, before, when I found the channel, when he had less subs, I watched it a bit and I was like, oh, okay, this dude seems like it might be interesting to cover. You know, I'll wait till he gets a bit bigger so he's not just like some smaller channel than me. He's about the same size now. But I didn't expect it to be this unhinged. And yeah, there's no dog whistling whatsoever. It is just full on.
The old fella said the bloke who patrolled their neighbourhood, their rough neighbourhood down the town in the borough, was an ex-para. And he said everyone was shit scared of him. And your dad used to knock the shite out of you if you did anything wrong, because the para used to threaten your dad. And he'd be like, listen, fucker, I might not be able to slap the shite out of your son, but if he keeps breaking people's windows and being a menace, I'll come round and break your fucking jaw. How does...
What? Literally fascistic police tactics he wants. He wants police officers to be brutal enforcers of the law. This guy is unhinged. Oh my god, this is incredible. What? Finally, somebody says it like it is. Oh my god. He thinks that like we should be terrified of the police. This is, oh my god, this is incredible. Well, I just don't understand how like, how does this get on YouTube? This is really bad. Yeah, oh yeah. He wasn't false advertising. Maybe it's a big, joke or something, but I don't know. But the anger is true. Yeah. Back when England was good, cops would just beat the shit out of you for nothing. For literally nothing. Oh.
Does that sound? And funny old thing, crime was on the decrease while PC Bastard was doing his rounds. So I don't think we'd have needed 3 riot vans back in the day, but it's politically incorrect to have police officers that are physically fit and stern and stoic and strong-willed. Now you have to have black disabled police lesbians. So
there it is. Black disabled police lesbians. We're getting into the good memes now. They idolise this past and falsely remember that it was the time of like... Yeah, it's... Hey, is it... Oh my god, I don't even... There's so much stuff here. There's so much stuff here. And yeah, it's worth pointing out as well that the strategies and the tactics... I told you this was going to be cringy. The strategies and the tactics of the police in the 80s led to like enormous racial tension, which resulted in things like the Brixton riots happening. God, I'd love to debate this guy. I say that with every one of these roidoids that I cover.
Who knows? And they have to have a college degree, don't they? A college degree in fucking Latin, because that'll help you fight off an ISIS supporter wielding a machete in one hand and a severed fucking head in the other. Yeah, when I see a machete-wielding madman, I always think, I just wish we'd spent a bit more time on English literature and a bit less time training with fucking...
Do you know what? The chances of a British police officer coming across an Islamist terrorist is like... I mean, I don't know what the odds are, but it's extremely low. Because the thing is, also the other thing as well with these abject morons is that they don't understand the systemic issues that cause crime. So rather than try and fix that, they just want to have a bunch of like brutal coppers to come along and bash people on the head who are, essentially victims of the system in many ways, Black disabled lesbian police officers. Anyway, beat coppers can't be disabled. In terms of like, well, how would that work? To walk the beat, you have to like be able to walk, for example, or do you know what I mean? You can still be a police officer and do other jobs. You can still do a desk job or whatever. But yeah, to walk the beat, which is presumably is what this guy's talking about based on what he's saying, it like literally wouldn't work to have a disabled police officer. So yeah. This guy thinks Judge Dredd was a documentary. Oh, this guy shoots thick ropes to films like Judge Dredd, you know it. Okay, listen, there's so much fascinating content that's been packed in to this 3 minutes. Do you see what I mean? Like, what? I just can't stop. I can't stop pausing it. What? Thank you, Vaz. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just find them. I can't remember where I saw this one, but anyway, let's continue.
Firearms and learning unarmed combat. That's just me. What the fuck do I know? So it says the troupe was booked to perform at a 4-year-old's garden party, but found the venue was a caravan camp. Alarm bells should have been ringing, girls. Ebony Gooding, 28, and sister Tamara Gooding, 29, were racially abused at a children's party. Although I have to say, how the fuck did they figure out they were black? That doesn't seem like a very revealing costume. You're not going to get much twerking done dressed as a dog-born firefighter.
Black people twerking. I mean, what? What do you say to that? Like, it's just blatant, isn't it? It's just I don't think this dude has read the TOS. I don't think this fella realises that you can't just go on YouTube and say whatever the fuck you want. He thinks it's a free-for-all. He thinks, yeah, I can just say black people twerk, call everyone a gypsy, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, black woman equals twerking. This man has never met a black person. God, imagine having a debate with this dude. Do you know what I mean? Wait, no, this is my new content mill. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on this dude. This dude is unironically hilarious, but also incredibly racist. Yeah, look at this guy. Let's continue anyway.
And
it's
whatever
got like
the
3K
thing
subs.
is on the right looks like some form of K9 pilot. Can't do a worse job than the RAF, but let's move on. The pals were dressed as Chase, oh there we go, Marshall and Sky. Ebony Gooding told how the pals were confronted by a mob of primary school aged children who immediately started kicking and punching them. Fuck me. Primary school children who started kicking and punching them. I think they definitely need to lay off the fucking Skittles, them little bastards. Her cousin Rosie Trumpet and had her Chase costume head beaten off, and the boy of 5 screamed racist abuse at her. Punched her fucking head off. I've only ever seen one man punch anyone's head off, and he was like 6'7". There's another 5 children grabbed Ebony, pulling down her Sky head so she was unable to see, and pushed her around. A young child grabbed a microphone.
I mean, yeah, just to be real for a second here, like obviously these kids are behaving badly, but they're 5 years old. This is learned behaviour. This is learned behaviour from their parents and family. And the thing is, why is it their family's behaving this way? Well, I think we all know the answer to that. But this dude will say it's because they're, you know, because they're X, Y, and Z. Then that's it. Do you see what I mean? Well, yeah, this, yeah, what are these ones supposed to do exactly? Yeah, I mean, I think clearly that there's some severe within that community. There are some extremely severe socioeconomic realities that result. This is the result of that. Do you see what I mean? But yeah, the thing is, you probably won't find another story. You probably won't find another story about it because this is the kind of thing that the Sun will report on. But it's not going to be like mainstream news per se. There's not going to be like a loads of different publications reporting on this because it's not particularly in the public interest. Like stuff like this happens everywhere. Poor communities have children that behave badly. Like, yeah, that's the thing. I grew up in a council estate. So this is particularly egregious, but you know, I used to hang around and go and, you know, do little shitty kid things when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? But here's the thing as well. It's not just poor kids that can act like little shitheads, right? It's not just poor kids that can act badly. Do you know what I mean? Rich kids, I mean, probably wouldn't be in a situation to do exactly this, but they could be like racist that they've learnt from their parents and stuff like that. Like, this isn't unique to just poor kids. But obviously, it's only that ever when it's poor kids that you hear about this kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly, sheep in the box.
As the pint-sized hooligans repeatedly shouted racial slurs, Ebony said, "We kept doing crying gestures to get them to calm down." Listen, girls, listen. If they full-on started assaulting you the second your paws touched the turf, I don't think a crying gesture's gonna fix things. She sounds like one of those upper-class Sandhurst officers who seems to think the best approach to fucking dealing with the Taliban was, you know, slinging your weapon behind your back and carrying a ceremonial goat into combat. It doesn't work, folks. It doesn't work. You try your very best to be civilized and then you have to get kinetic. And I don't think militant, racist 5-year-olds punching people's heads off are going to be responsive to a sobbing gesture from an anthropomorphic Dalmatian.
So what? Wait. What is he suggesting? Is he suggesting just like beating the shit out of a 5-year-old? Because he's talking in the first instance about, oh, the Taliban are there, we need to get kinetic. That means shoot the Taliban, okay? This is the kind of guy who likes beating kids. And the rest, if you know what I mean. This dude is so unhinged. I love it. Yeah, he does come across as a bit of a larper. I don't know, Comrade Jock. What do you think? You used to be a bootneck, or do you recognise this as someone that you might have worked alongside at the time? I wonder if this guy sees everything through the lens of combat in Afghanistan. It's possible. It's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. I mean, oh God. He also, like we've been saying, I know that some people have got like a problem with soldiers, okay? The thing that you need to remember with soldiers is the way that they're, even in the UK, you know, the recruitment and stuff, they tend to recruit out of poor communities. Yeah, he's obviously quite old, right? Like he's painted himself like this because this was him in his heyday. But in actual fact, he's probably like 60 years old now, right? Wait, is his life a waking fever dream of PTSD and enemies of other races around every corner? Maybe he just did a desk job. Yeah, that's true source and support. Well, he claims he was a Royal Marine. He claims he was. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is him in his heyday, you know? But now he's a decrepit old dude, probably. Anyway, come on, let's get through this video. Oh.
It says, Ebony and Tamara fled to their cars, but parents shut the gates and told them, "You're not getting out of here." Or was that a gypsy voice? Jerry Adams, one of the two. Complete loon.
Flagrant. Just absolute flagrant on display here. Might just be a thing that happens in these type of circles. I'm betting he's overcompensating with how big he's making himself in these Rantsona. Marines usually aren't that big because you've got to be able to do loads of cardio. Yeah, that's true. Special forces. There's this idea that special forces are like these like super mega built hunks. But actually special forces soldiers, like for example, the SAS, tend to be like quite small, unassuming figures in real life. They don't want big meathead soldiers because they're just like there's a number of reasons that I know about because I'm an expert on the SAS, okay? Look, I've played Rainbow Six, okay? Yeah, big Rantsona is compensate for a small, you know. But yeah, special forces soldiers. I mean, I don't know if Marines are special forces per se. They're kind of one step up from the regular army. Their training is a lot more intense and severe than the regular army. Yeah, I know all about colonial Marines. Okay, anyway, come on. We can't get through this video.
Lunatic. The birthday boy's parents then demanded back their £80 deposit for the booking before a crony of the father threatened, "I would just do what he wants. He's a complete lunatic." I love the language they use as well, by the way, in The Sun. A crony of the father. Like, they always use horrible language, don't they? I remember once me and my missus were reading the paper in the pub in York. We used to drink in a great, rough little boozer called the Brown Cow. And, you know, all the old blokes would always have a paper on the bar. And I was sitting going through it when I was having a pint of bitter, you know. And one of the stories said it was about some horrible woman who got... she was like a fat, chavvy woman. And she was getting done for child abuse. And in the...
Fat, chavvy woman.
Right up for the story, at one point it said, the fat...
For those of you that don't know, chav is like a derogatory term that's used to describe a poor working class person, okay?
Bigot 28. And I thought, fucking hell, it is sort of weird how the British tabloids use coloured language, don't they? I also remember one describing the place where some like sex offender lived. It said his lair in South London, and I thought, fucking hell, he lives in a lair. What do you have to?
Does it really sheep in the box? I had no idea it stood for that. Yeah, council house is like state provided housing. Does it really? I had no idea.
To do to get your house, your bed sit classified as a fucking lair. Anyway, he's a fucking lunatic. Don't mess with him, you pint-sized Dalmatian cunt. He will bounce on your shit locker all day long. Said the pals rang 999 and 8 police officers raced to the scene. Raced to the scene. Race is what caused this fucking problem, lads. Jesus, calm down.
Race is what caused this problem. Wonder what he means by that. I'm just analysing everything this guy says now. But yeah, this dude is... I think this dude needs a visit from the police, to be honest with you. I don't normally like invoking the power of the state against individuals. But, I don't know. I think it might be justified in this case.
Ebony from Wycombe Book said there were so many police. There were 3 riot vans and 3 police cars. It seemed like there was police everywhere. It was surreal and felt so over the top for a 4-year-old's birthday party, but I can understand why they did not want to take any chances. We just couldn't believe how quickly things got out of control. Those children were beyond wild. They were terrifying. The racial abuse would have been disgusting from adults, but from children it was just unbelievable. Fuck me backwards. That is mental. How can you gaze into those soft pink eyes and think, listen, you Dachshund twat, I'm going to give you a fucking good hiding? It is shocking. And let me tell you, this is the serious point I'm going to make. Obviously, the story's funny because it's written to be funny. That's what the Sun's like. Trash journalism. But here's the point. Just like religion, I'm an atheist, agnostic, don't really care about religion. But as you get older and wiser, you do sort of realise that sort of militant atheism that I embraced as a young lad, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater because you get a lot out of the rules that we used to have, the sort of sense of community. From
the rules we used to have. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're now a rule. We live in ruleless, lawless anarchy now, apparently. Wiser. This fetishization of you get wiser as you get older. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous to me. Mythologized version of the past, yeah. In fact, he made the point here that, like, many years ago, the only way that they could keep youth in line was, like, for police to threaten to, like, violently beat the parents of the children if they didn't get them in line. And now he's here saying, oh, back when we had rules and stuff. No, from what you're saying, it was just that the police were more violent back then. Yeah. Back in my day, cops would just get their batons and smash our legs to bits. Why can't we go back to simpler times?
Going to church regularly. The structure. The shame. You know, it was shameful to be a yo-yo knickered fucking Jezebel back in the day. And now, where we've got no fucking structure at all, which in the main, being a secularist, I agree with, it's not good to just throw everything out and have no discipline and no rules. And when it comes to gypsies, right, there is no fucking way it's good for them to live like it's fucking the 15th century.
Yeah, it's really fucking bad, isn't it? I wonder why it is that they live like that. Interesting. This is what I'm saying. People like this don't want to look to try and address the systemic issues that exist. They just want to punish the people that live out the inevitable conclusion of these systemic issues existing. Okay? They just want to see them get bashed by a copper and laugh about it and enjoy it. They don't want to actually address and contend with the facts. Do you see what I mean? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Does he think that these people really want to live like this? This is the optimum way that they want to live? Like in this sort of thing?
Now, I'm sorry, I know that'll upset the most libertarian amongst you and think, no, Matty, if I want to live in a field and goad a donkey to death with a sharp stick, I should be allowed to do that. No, that's cruelty to animals. Donkeys, in this case, not fucking anthropomorphic canines. But I have to disagree. Like, again, I'm a centrist, really, not a full-blown libertarian.
He's a centrist. We are hitting every possible meme that you could envision. So someone that is calling for obscene abuses of police brutality, okay? Saying that we should go back to a system whereby police instilled fear in parents to make them control their children. And he wants to say, I'm just a centrist here. Like, I've just listened to your video, you fucking brain dead cunt. I've just fucking listened to your video, and there's no way you can call yourself a centrist after everything you just said. That's incredible.
You need rules, and gypsies don't have any, because they live like it's fucking, they haven't progressed. Getting your kids to go to school, I've always been against homeschooling, even in America. All the right-wingers love homeschooling. It's good to get your kids,
This
mix
guy's an
with
expert on
everyone, maybe occasionally get bullied, yeah. You have to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, a bit of gentle bullying.
Wait, he thinks kids go to school so they can get bullied? I love that that's like mixing with people, getting bullied. That's like a point he mentions. Not like to get an education, learn good social skills, learn good timekeeping, etc., etc., etc. No, he thinks kids should go to school to get the shit kicked out of them by other kids to give them character. Okay. Jesus. This is like an angrier, more racist Sargon. And I look forward to watching more of his videos. We've still got some more of this one to go, though. Honestly, I don't think I've paused the video so much recently.
Talking, so much abuse and rumours that the girls turn bulimic and the boys hang themselves. What I'm saying is, a little bit of roughhousing, a little bit of mixing with all these different kids from all these different estates. It is good for you. It's good for your development. It's good for your brain.
Only white kids, though, right? Right, angry soldier man? Maybe he doesn't think that. I don't know. Or maybe he thinks the minority kids should be the ones getting bullied. Yeah, this dude just thinks kids should get bullied. Like, yeah, that should be a thing that happens. Yeah, roughhousing means getting beaten up. Like, getting punched and stuff. Oh my god, this dude is incredible. He hasn't learned that you can't just say whatever you want. Bullying builds character. That's what they tell themselves. Oh yeah, that's true. He did. That's true. Oh my god! I'm in absolute shock at this dude. This is so good.
And gypsies are the way they are. A lot of them, not all of them, because they are stuck in the living an old-fashioned lifestyle that no longer is fit for purpose in this day and age, and they are pretty racist in the main, more than any other group in society, I think. This is why people complain about, oh yeah, it's okay.
Do you think this guy studied sociology to make these kind of assertions, or has not even studied it necessarily, but looked into the most basic? Yeah, exactly. Citation needed. Do you think he's read some studies about this? Again, this is the kind of content that gets you big on the right. If you want to get big on the left, if you want to be like a big YouTuber, you've got to do like well-researched. I mean, obviously you've got streamers and stuff like for example, Vosh is growing at a big rate, Zanel's growing at a big rate. But if you want to be like this sort of style of content as a lefty, you've got to do like, broadly speaking, well-researched, interestingly put together video essays. This dude literally just turned on his mic, got this angry picture of him drawn, and he can just rant. But it's the poverty which comes from their lifestyle which makes them biggest. Yeah, precisely. Exactly right. But this is the thing, right? Like, what support is there in place? Like, I don't know. I don't know much about this particular social issue because it's not really something. I've met Romani people in my life. I'd be really uninspired if I was making unresearched garbage like this. Yeah, true. I've some, they've been troublesome people to deal with, particularly when I was at school and stuff like that. But looking back now, you recognise that, damn, actually, there's a lot of like poverty and other social issues that are playing into this. Like a 5-year-old kid isn't like inherently evil, right? Like it's all learned behaviour. Yeah, rebranding as a right winger pretending to be a centrist. It is easy. It's easier that way.
Racially abuse gypsies. It's not okay to racially abuse anyone, but we do sort of turn a blind eye to it, and I think it's because most people think, yeah, if you have to pick one minority group in the UK that's still a bit problematic on the whole, it is the traveller community. And even that word makes me laugh because they don't do much fucking travelling, do they? If you stick a caravan at the foot of some cunt's driveway and then just cover the street in shit, first of all, you're a messy bastard, and second of all, you're not travelling anywhere. They probably move less in a year than my fucking dad does, and that fat old cunt has been sat on his fat ass watching the fucking golf ever since he retired. He's probably done about 200 yards in 3 years. Anyway, it's bad. And more than any group I know of, gypsies, they do have some old-fashioned views that we don't have anymore towards minorities, towards anything new, right?
I love the fact that he sat here saying we don't have these old-fashioned views towards minorities anymore, where literally 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago in the video, he said, oh, look at, essentially what he said was, look at these black women, I can't imagine they do much twerking in those suits, implying that like black people equals twerking. And now later on he's saying we don't have these kind of views towards minorities anymore, when he literally was stereotyping black people earlier in the video. And he's engaging in like bigotry towards Romani people as well. Absolutely no self-awareness. The only thing he's self-aware about is how fucking furious and moulding he is because of this angry thing that he's put together or he got commissioned. Oh, incredible. This is incredible. I can't believe I landed on such an incredible find.
In the gym
We don't like old-fashioned views, but we need the police to beat minorities more. True, exactly.
Community, they're probably still behind the times. They're probably not aware that 12% of the country's got roots elsewhere. They're probably not aware there's fucking Muslims everywhere and Afro-Caribbean people, well, BME of every stripe. Because the world's moved on. It's 2020, we live in a global community, and they're still living in caravans, communicating via fucking hand signals and pulling down bus shelters to sell for scrap. They're living in a bygone age, and I think it would be good for them and us if we applied a little pressure to them to try and move things along instead of always being tolerant of everyone's different lifestyles.
Do you know this as well? It's applying pressure, not offering support networks to try and help these people. So in my experience, like I say, it's not a social issue that I'm particularly knowledgeable about. I've had really bad experiences in my life with Romani people, like when I was a kid. So, you know, but the thing for me that I always vividly remember is that what would happen is you get a community kind of move in somewhere, they stay there for a little while, and then the police would come and they'd move them along. And do you know what? I've never really thought about it till now. But it's like, well, you're just moving the problem to another area. I don't know, Comrade Jog. I don't know what the I don't know what the thing is with them. Like what their lifestyle is like, what they want to do. It's complicated, right? He is incoherent. He is criticising other people's bigotry. Yeah, I've heard stories like, basically there might be like a homeless person in a city or homeless people, and what they'll do, what the local council will do, is they'll just buy them a train ticket to somewhere else. Like, it's incredible. They'll just be like, okay, here, off you go to another city, go and be a problem somewhere else. Yeah, I agree, Confidence. We are speculating. I completely agree with you, and I don't know. Like, I'd like to actually speak with someone that knows about these issues. You know, we are just speculating. But in any case, what I can say with some certainty is that it doesn't seem like there's much support for these communities. It tends to be just ushering them away to be a problem somewhere else. That's my experience of seeing it from the outside, anyway.
Even if we know it's bad for them, a little bit of societal pressure to get them to integrate and fit in is good for any community. It doesn't matter whether you're black, minority ethnic, Muslim, traveller, whatever it is. It's good to get people singing off the same hymn sheet, leveler, so to speak. And I will finish with a true, I swear to God, this is a gen dit. You guys know me, I do not tell a lie. I'll even tell you where it is. When I lived in York in the UK, I lived in a nice little apartment here, right inside the walls. It was fucking lovely. If anyone's never been to York, I highly recommend it. Beautiful. I think one of the best cities in the UK, but I'm biased because I'm a northern bastard and I don't ever want to go anywhere south of fucking Leeds. But it's beautiful. Yeah, northerners have got this real weird hatred for southerners. It's so strange. It's such a weird little idiosyncratic thing that happens in the UK.
you know, they see Southerners as like soft boys. You know, they've got all these perceptions about what Southern people are like, and they never want to leave the North. They're quite sheltered in many ways. How do you know if someone's from Yorkshire? Don't worry, they'll tell you about it. Yeah, exactly. And there isn't really that sort of amongst Southerners. I don't know. I mean, I've met plenty of decent, you know, like I used to live with a Northerner, fella from Liverpool, and he was a top bloke. We got on really well. We had quite similar politics, which was cool. As someone from the South, I couldn't give a fuck, and I spent literally 0 seconds thinking about Northerners. Yeah, exactly. I just don't really care. Like, as long as you're a good person, it doesn't matter. But these people have got such a weird chip on their shoulder about people from the South.
And I used to live there, right on Warmgate. Look at that. There's Lennys Chippy. I used to go in there regularly. There's the
Didn't
city
ask for
walls.
your life story, dude.
Fuck, that wall goes all around the city. It's brilliant. So I used to live about there, in them little houses on the left. Looks fantastic when you first move in, and then every time you open the curtains, there's 4,000 fucking Japanese tourists taking photographs. It's impossible to have sex.
This dude's just a racist. I don't normally like just saying that like that, but this dude's just a straight up racist. Why does it have to be Japanese tourists? Look, I've lived in a place before that had tourism. Listen, it is annoying when you get a lot of tourists come to your area, but I lived in a part of the country, right, where it was other people from the UK that were the tourists, and it was just as annoying. Why do you have to preface that by saying Japanese tourists? Why can't you just say tourists? Because, yeah, it is annoying when there's lots of tourists in the place that you live because you can't do stuff you want to do as easily. But why do you have to preface that with Japanese? Like somehow... You stopped at the worst moment. I don't know.
I didn't masturbate for the entire time I lived there, unless I was visiting my dad, and I used to crack one out in the shed. And here's the fucking restaurant. Up the road, past the Rose and Crown.
What? Why is he telling us about his jerking off habits? That's weird. If they were white Aryan tourists, he'd be harder than steel. Oh my god, these memes.
Another boozer I used to frequent. And the Wagon and Horses, which is another great one I used to go to a lot. That's why it's good. There's fucking pubs everywhere. There is a little Chinese restaurant called the Mayfair. There it is there. And the Mayfair does a great salt and pepper chips, sweet and sour. It's bang on, right? Just up the street from the Mayfair, there is this. The humble travelling community that doesn't do very much travelling. You can see there's a few caravans there, but they typically live in statics now. And it's over the road from Morrison's, which, by the way, that was where we used to do our shopping. And they were always in there, walking around the fucking aisles, emptying all the sandwiches, opening all the fucking meat and cheese products, basically having a picnic and then fucking leaving without actually paying for anything. That was quite a regular occurrence, because I used to drink with the manager from Morrison's and he was always whinging about them. Anyway, and I seen these guys going when I was in the Mayfair. I was in there with my wife. There was about 4 other customers, and 3 of them came in. There was the big, burly, stereotypical tracksuit and steroids father, and there was 2 teenagers, looked about 13, 14,
Jesus
15
Christ.
sort of age.
Literally just racist fairy tales with angry soldier dude. Like, what is the point of this story? Like, I don't... Okay, so, like I said myself, I've had bad experiences before with Romani people, but looking back now, it's not because they're, like, inherently bad people, right? Like, they're not born evil. Oh, my God. 15. He said 15.
I marched up to the counter, as God is my witness, this is true, and I went straight up there, and the fucking were all tittering and nudging each other and laughing, and the kids were going, "Oh, hello there," like doing like Team America Kim Jong impressions. I swear down. and like doing.
This dude's such a hypocrite. He just did like an Irish accent to mock these people earlier. What? He's like being hypocritical with his own video. Earlier he did this. He mocked travellers by doing like a funny accent, like an Irish accent. And now he's criticising children, need I add, for doing the same thing. This dude is incredible.
Little slitty eyes, pulling their eyes sideways, and just they did the whole order in ridiculous, over the top fake Chinese, and the whole fucking restaurant was sat there aghast. That is a fucking true story. They were like, "Oh, hello," and they were like sniggering and laughing and looking over at me and grinning, and everyone in there was just fucking horrified. And in my experience, again, it's only analogous, I'm not going to point to any fucking studies, but they were the most bigoted, most racist people in that fucking city.
So your what you've just said is totally fucking worthless because you're just literally pointing to some anecdote. Okay. Just to complete, that whole segment, the last like 3 minutes have just been a complete and utter waste of time because he's just said he's not going to point to any studies that prove this. He's just going to base it on this time that there was something that happened in a takeaway once. Oh yeah, he probably loved it. The great majority can't do... Yeah, Watson, that's it. The great majority can't do much any travelling. Capitalism tends towards sameness and monopoly. So any different ways of living are going to be forced out. That's the way to look at it. Not that they're living in a backwards way, unwilling to modernise. Yeah. Man, some people were bigoted. Time for me to be a bigot and extrapolate it to an entire group, yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, I'm so glad that this racist is willing to stand up and speak out against racism. Yeah, this dude is undoubtedly an anti-intellectual. I've got no doubt about it.
As a group. And I've fully put it down to living like you're in the 15th century. So, sorry Paw Patrol, I am sorry for what happened to you, and it shouldn't be happening in this day and age. And if people followed my fucking advice and went back to basics and applied a little gentle societal pressure to get everyone to mix in, not only would it deal with the likes of fucking ISIS and ghettoised Muslim communities, but maybe, just maybe, we'd stop seeing racially diverse, anthropomorphised dogs getting assaulted at children's parties. That's it for the day. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys very soon. Cheers.
Oh, incredible. There we go. Well, thanks, Angry Bootneck. Because of your abject racism, I'm not going to be able to monetize that clip, because I'm going to have to put it down as incredible racism. Incredible levels of racism on display. Anyway, I think I've said enough. Okay, that's all good. I think I've said enough. That dude was just an unhinged racist fella with an angry Rantsona to boot. Hence, Angry Bootneck. That's it. I've got nothing more. It's over. In summary, it's okay to be racist to Marani because they're racist. Yeah. Mate, your channel is a breath of fresh air. A breath of fresh air? This is literally just like standard cookie cutter basic bitch racism. How is it a breath of fresh air? Like, oh sheep, you've got to do a video about this dude. That'd be so funny. I'd love to see a sheep in the box video about this fella. Look, pikey. Pikey's another slur used against Romani people. Oh yeah, visiting his dad made him horny. God, this dude is typical gammon. This fella is honestly the absolute standard. Like, there's so many people like this dude. How long has he been doing fucking content for? I don't think he's been doing it for very long. Oh, okay, he's been doing it for a year. Fair enough. His old stuff didn't get many views, then it kicked off for him. Is a chav started out as an anti-Romani slur? Yeah, some anti... Yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, I mean, there isn't really much you can say to it. God, it's so cringy. Look at all these Union Jacks. I've never seen so many fucking Union Jacks and St George's crosses. How many views is this shit? Seriously.
Hello, hello, welcome, ladies and gents, to the
that's what he looks like.
edition of the...
Look. That's what the fella looks like. He's not that old. He just looks like a fucking default character in a video game. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he got let go from the Marines. Maybe there was a dishonorable discharge for brutalizing like a captured enemy combatant or something. Have you heard of the high hells? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I know. Well, this is the kind of content we're dealing with, you know. God, this is the kind of... Do you know what? The banality of evil. Yeah, kind of, especially, I mean, soldiers like the Marines or the Paras or going up to like Special Forces, SAS, stuff like that, in the UK, they tend to be quite honest. Like I say, they tend to be in my knowledge. Like I've got a family member that was in the army, and so obviously, you know, he used to tell me loads of stuff about it. You know, I got a lot of information from him about it all. But yeah, Special Forces soldiers tend to be just like regular looking dudes. You know, they're not these like super buff mega warriors. It's interesting.